Hey guys, and welcome back to today's NBA pick video play for Sunday, November 12th, 2017. To get all of our NBA plays, you can check those out over at stumpthespread.com, and be sure to click that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Heading into this one, we're going to be talking about this early evening matchup here between the Houston Rockets and the Indiana Pacers. Houston going into the second day of a back-to-back, so they could be a bit fatigued coming into this one, while the Pacers, they've had a little bit of time off since their impressive win on the road against the Bulls, and they're trying to get back to 500 on the year. Certainly a lot of incentive for the Pacers to try and show that they can get the job done again against one of the better teams in the NBA. So Houston, they're having a lot of success again this year. Not a surprise. This is a team that has a lot of talent. We are a little bit worried about this back-to-back, however, for Houston. Playing against the Memphis Grizzlies at home in a later evening Saturday contest, and then a quick turnaround traveling over to the Pacers and then playing in an early evening contest. So not even a full day. It's actually about 18 hours between the end of the Grizzlies game and the beginning of this game, about 18 to 20 hours total. So certainly a fatigue situation is something to keep in mind. Also, Chris Paul continues to be out for the Rockets. I'm not sure that necessarily makes too big of a difference. It seems like, the Rockets were happy to get a guy of Chris Paul's talents, but I'm not sure he had the kind of game that necessarily makes this group all that much better. They actually might even be better without him on the court, given the fact that he's not a great three-point shooter. And James Harden, he's a ball-dominant guard, and if Chris Paul were to take a lot of some of that ball dominance away from Harden, that might actually reduce their ability to be the same level of team. But it'll be interesting to see when Chris Paul comes back exactly how everything works out with that situation. But the Rockets, they certainly have been trending in a better direction over the past week or so of action, and also in recent road games they've shown that they can get the job done, blowing out Eastern Conference competition like the Knicks and the Hawks. We do value the Pacers a little bit more than the those kind of teams that Houston was really taking advantage of, slightly more than the Knicks, and also quite a bit more than the Hawks, who have really been struggling early on this year. But the Rockets right now, of course, one of the top-ranked offensive teams in the NBA, ranking about 5th in the league in scoring average, and they've actually been a bit better defensively, a top 10 defense, sitting 10th right now in the NBA in points allowed. If they continue to show those kind of numbers, I actually expect them to be even better offensively throughout the course of the regular season than what they're currently averaging, just over 110 points per game. But if they can keep these defensive numbers in the low 100s, sitting right now at about 104 points per contest given up, then this is going to be a team that's going to have a ton of success, probably wrapping up about a second or third seed in the Western Conference when everything is said and done. But not going to be free by any means here today on the road against the Pacers, who usually have a pretty good home court advantage. The Pacers right now standing 6-7 overall, trying to get back to 500. Indiana, not a team that was getting a whole lot of hype coming into the year, obviously, after trading Paul George. Many felt like that trade, Oklahoma City really took advantage of the Pacers, but it hasn't really looked that way too much. Victor Oladipo, he stepped right in, and he's been a great force, a positive influence certainly so far for the Pacers, and it looks like it might not be quite as bad of a trade as it initially looked for Indiana on the onset. They knew that they had to trade Paul George eventually, given the fact that he was very unlikely to re-sign with them. So for what they got and what they gave up, it probably won't be too bad of a situation. The Pacers looked much better in their last outing, albeit against a not-so-great Chicago Bulls team, but they went on to win that one on the road by a final of 105-87, and it was good to see Indiana get things back on track. After they had some issues, they went on to lose 4 straight. After opening the year actually pretty strong, sitting at 6-3 overall at one point, 5-3 overall at one point before losing those 4 games in a row, and now getting one game back to within 500, certainly an extra motivating factor for the Pacers heading into this tough matchup, is trying to get back to that 500 mark. This is a team that ranks right now 8th in the NBA in scoring average, very similar around to what Houston's been averaging, but not quite as good defensively, 25th right now in the NBA in total team defense. So their plus-minus right now is at about plus 1.5 points in comparison to the Rockets, who are at about plus 6 points or so on the year. But again, the thing that we're mainly concerned with coming to this one is the fact that the Rockets are going back-to-back with a very short turnaround period, and as a result, we feel like the Pacers, behind that home court advantage and coming off of a pretty solid showing in their last outing against the Bulls, we feel like the Pacers can keep things competitive today and maybe even push for the upset win. So that's going to be our play, guys. Siding with the home team, taking the points, siding with the Pacers here as our NBA pick video play. And again, to get all of our NBA plays, you can check those out at stumpthespread.com. Linked in the video description, and be sure to click that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Thanks for stopping on in, and we hope to see you guys in future videos. Bye.